This partnership firm is governed by Partnership Act of 1932. Each and every partner has an equal right to take decision in the organization. In the same way, each and every partner will be given their own powers as well as duties. The main intention of this act is to see through that the auditing is being conducted. Auditing is not done in an organization or if a partner itself have done the auditing of a partnership firm. In such cases, there is a high chances of disputes among the partners. Hello everyone, I am Arshita, lecturer, Department of Commerce, Vidyashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, Mysore. Today we are in the second session of Unit 6, that is audit of different types of organization. So my dear students, we were discussing about audit of different forms of organization. As I have already told you, there are a number of forms of organization where the accounting as well as auditing procedure will differ from one type of organization to another type of organization. Now let us quickly recall what we have discussed in a previous session. So in a previous session, we have covered this topic, that is audit of sole trading concern. So what do you mean by sole trading concern? A single person starting a business is known as sole trading concern, and we have already learned how this auditing is being conducted under sole trading concern. So how the auditing is being conducted under sole trading concern? Here, a person will be appointed, that is a chartered accountant will audit the sole trading concern. And we have seen how this auditing will be conducted and what are the procedures that has to be followed by an auditor conducting the auditing of a sole trading concern. In today's session, we shall continue with new topic, that is audit of partnership firm. So what do I mean by partnership? When two or more persons starting a business activity in order to earn profit or loss is called as partnership firm. So the minimum number to start this form of organization is 2. So when the business wants to expand or when the business require more capital, in such cases what they will do? They will go for this partnership firm. Now what do I mean by partnership firm? When two or more persons starting a business activity, you have to remember here, it should be a business activity only. So this partnership firm should be a business activity where the main aim is to earn profit, and whatever the profit and loss ascertained from this business, so that has to be distributed among the partners in their profit sharing ratio. So here each and every partner will contribute the capital, they share their profit and loss, and they have equal managerial ability. So they can participate in all the activities of the business. In the same way, they also have decision making power. So each and every partner has a right to take decision as well as to share the profit and loss. And each and every partner act both as an agent as well as principal. Suppose a partner takes decision and other follows that decision, he act as a principal. In the same way, if other partner takes the decision and the partner follows the decision, then he act as a agent. So this is about partnership, and partnership is according to, or it is governed according to Partnership Act 1932. So there is a particular law which is governing this partnership firm. Now let us see about audit of partnership firm. So as per the Partnership Act of 1932, as I have already told you, so this partnership firm is governed by Partnership Act of 1932. So there is a separate statute or law for this partnership firm. So as per the Partnership Act of 1932, it is not mandatory. So it is not compulsory to have the accounts audited in the partnership firm. So it's not compulsory. So the statute or the law itself says that it's not mandatory for a partnership firm to get the accounts audited by the partnership firm. Also, the act has not laid down the qualification, duties, powers and liabilities of an auditor. Even though if they are going to conduct this auditing process, there also it's not mandatory, or here the partnership agreement or the partnership Act has not given specific qualification, powers, duties as well as liability for an auditor. Like a company auditing where there should be a qualified auditor, right? So the auditor should have a specified qualification. At the same time, there will be certain duties as well as responsibilities which has to be conducted by an auditor. Whereas here under partnership firm, here the Partnership Act itself states that there is no specific qualification. At the same time, the power, duties and responsibility of the auditor is not given by Partnership Act. However, it is implied that the main objective of audit of a partnership firm is detection of frauds and errors, prevention of errors and frauds, as well as verification of profit and loss account and balance sheet. But of course, the main intention of this act is to see through that the auditing is being conducted, but it's not mandatory, it's optional. But auditing is conducted in order to see the accuracy of books of account of a partnership firm. At the same time, in order to detect as well as prevent errors and frauds in the organization. That is, the errors and frauds which may occur in the organization. In order to prevent that, auditing is being conducted, as well as in order to ascertain the actual profit and loss and financial position of the business. Now let us see what is the procedure of audit under partnership firm. So how this procedure that has to be followed by an auditor in the auditing of a partnership firm. So the first one is the auditor should get the definite instructions in writing as to work to be performed by him. Now, in a partnership firm, when an auditor goes for a partnership firm, he should know what the work that has to be conducted by him. For that, what the organization or what the partnership firm has to do, the auditor should get the definite instruction. So here the partnership firm has to provide proper instruction to the auditor that what work he has to do in the partnership firm. And the second one is, if the work is of the nature of preparation of income tax returns, the central government of revenue seeks following information from the auditor. Suppose if the duty of an auditor, as I told you, here the partnership firm has to provide or has to give instruction to the auditor in relation to what he has to perform in the partnership firm. Suppose if the work of the auditor is preparation of income tax. Suppose if the work of an auditor is to prepare income tax return, then the central government has given certain specifications for the auditor. That is, these are the information that has to be there in the books of accounts. Let us see what are the specification or the information which is given by the Revenue Department. So the first one is, in what capacity did he work? So what is the actual capacity of an auditor to work in a partnership firm? So that is, in what capacity did he work? In the sense, what is the work he has been doing? What is the volume of the work he has undertaken? What is the task that is given to an auditor? So he has to mention that. That is the information which is given by whom Central Board of Revenue seeks certain information about the auditor. That is, in what capacity did he work? And the second one is whether the records of the concern appear to be correct and reliable. And the second conditions which is made by them is to check the auditor or to see the auditor that whether the books of accounts of a partnership firm is correct and reliable, whether it is correct. And the next one is whether he could obtain all information. So whether the auditor was able to obtain all the information from the partnership firm or not. So that he has to mention. And the next one is whether any instruction was imposed on him. So whether any instructions of the partnership firm was imposed on him by force, whether any of the partners have imposed certain instruction on him or not. And the next one is the auditor should carefully study the partnership agreement and ascertain the following information therefrom. Of course, here also there is an agreement between the auditor as well as the partners. So what the auditor has to do? Auditor should carefully see the partnership agreement. Of course, in order to form a partnership firm, there should be an agreement. So it can be either written agreement or oral agreement, but written agreement is more preferable than oral agreement because written agreement always acts as a evidence. Now, of course, there is a contract between the auditor as well as the partnership firm. Now what the auditor has to do? Auditor should carefully study the partnership agreement of the partners and ascertain the following information. Let us see what are the information that can be ascertained from the partnership agreement. So the first one is powers and duties of each partner. Of course, as I told you, each and every partner has an equal right to take decision in the organization. In the same way, each and every partner will be given their own powers as well as duties. So, they will be having their own responsibilities. In the same way, duties as well as powers. Now, being an auditor, he has to verify each and every aspect in the partnership agreement, and he has to know what is the power as well as duty of each and every partner. And the next one is capital contribution, withdrawals, loans, commission, etc. of each partner. So, he has to know what is the capital contributed by each and every partner. For example, there are 3 partners, A, B and C. Now, what is the capital contribution of A and what is the capital contribution of B? In the same way, what is the capital contribution of C? So, that also he has to know. Then, how much amount they can withdraw from the partnership firm. It's nothing but drawings. So, if the partner needs some amount for their personal use, then to what extent they can withdraw amount from the partnership firm. So, whether any partner have provided loan to the partnership firm, if they have provided, what is the rate of interest on it? Then commission. So, if any partner have worked extra in an organization, so for that, whether the partnership firm is providing any commission or salary to such kind of partner. So, each and every details will be there in the partnership agreement and he has to go through that details. And the next one is, if the firm is newly bought, the following aspects will be looked into. Suppose if the partnership firm is newly bought partnership firm, in such cases, the auditor has to see the following aspect. Next, the first one is, that is, he has to go through the following aspect. So, the first one is terms of purchase. So, what is that? Terms and conditions of purchasing a new partnership firm. For example, an auditor has gone through a partnership firm, that is a new partnership firm where they have purchased that partnership firm. Then the auditor should verify what is the terms and conditions of the purchase. So, what are the conditions which was there while purchasing that partnership firm. Next, valuation of business. So, he has to value the business. What is the total money value of that particular business? And the next one is accounting. So, of course, he has to look into the accounting procedure which is followed by the partnership firm. And the next one is the auditor should look into the list of books. So, the books which is maintained by the partnership firm. So, there are number of books. So, there may be a chances that there are number of partners and they have maintained number of transactions. So, they are undergoing various types of transaction. So, they have maintained number of books in order to record the transactions in the books of account. In such cases, the auditor has to look through each and every list of books, minute book, in the sense whatever they have discussed. So, that main points has to be written in a particular book. So, he can go through the minute book also. List of members, various contract. Suppose if the members is having various contract with another person. In such cases, he has to verify list of members, various contract. Next, mode of verifying the accounts of branches, including foreign branches, if any arrangement with regard to retirement or death of a partner and dissolution of partnership firm. So, as I told, in partnership agreement, they will include each and every aspect. So, it may be in relation to admission of a partner, retirement of a partner or death of a partner also. In such cases, what are the terms and conditions that has to be followed by the partnership firm? So, each and everything the auditor has to go through by auditing the books of accounts of a partnership firm. Now, let us see what are the advantages of auditing under partnership firm. So, the first one is satisfaction. So, of course, they will get here, each and every partners will get the satisfaction to all the partners and avoid disputes. Of course, if the auditing is not done in an organization or if a partner itself have done the auditing of a partnership firm, in such cases, there is a high chances of disputes among the partners because they don't know what is the exact value of or what is the exact accuracy of books of account. So through this auditing, when an independent person comes to the organization and they have conducted this auditing process, so what happens here? So there will be no doubts in the minds of partners. At the same time, they will be clear with the books of accounts which is maintained in the organization. And satisfaction, of course, satisfaction is very important for each and every partner. So in order to reduce the disputes, so they should be satisfied with the books of account which is maintained in the organization. So it leads to satisfaction of all partners and avoids disputes. That is, avoid disputes between the partners. And the next one is proof for no fraud and clean business. So here this audit report, as I told you, it always acts as a proof. So if no fraud and errors has been made in the organization, so this audit report acts as a proof for that. And the next one is settlement of accounts as a result of admission, retirement and death of a partner. Suppose if any new partner enters into a partnership firm, it is called as admission of a partner. In the same way, if any partner retires or leaves the existing partnership firm, it is called as retirement of a partner. In the same way, if any partner have died in the partnership firm, it is called as death of a partner. So during this situation, they have to maintain proper books of accounts. It is in all the cases, it is in admission, retirement and death of a partner. In such cases, if the books are properly audited, then all the books of accounts will be clearly maintained. So it will help in order to reduce the burden at the time of admission, retirement and death of a partner. And the next one is suggestions for improvement. Of course, these audited accounts will give the actual accuracy of the books of account. So thereby, they will know what is the exact position of the partnership firm. So if the position is not good, then it can be improved by taking initiatives, that is for the improvement, taking initiatives for the improvement. In the same way, suggestions can also be given by the partners. So the exact result of the partnership firm will lead to improvement in the partnership firm. And the next one is enhancement of goodwill and self-esteem of the firm. Of course, an audited firm will always have a good reputation in the minds of the public. It's nothing but goodwill of the firm increases. So when an organization goes for an auditing process, of course, it will have a good image in the minds of public because they know that the books of accounts of the firm is being audited and whatever the accounts they are showing is exact and accurate. So thereby it creates good image or goodwill in the minds of the public. So enhancement of goodwill and self-esteem of the firm. It also increases the morality of the firm, self-esteem of the firm. So in my next session, I am going to discuss about audit of educational institution and audit of cooperative society. So my dear students, in today's session, we have learned how the auditing has to be conducted under partnership firm. As I told you, so since there are more number of partners, of course, there may be a chances of disputes among the partners because we don't know how the books of accounts of the firm have been maintained, right? And such situation, of course, there will be a disputes among the partners in such cases. So this auditing helps them in order to reduce the disputes and also enhances a clear as well as accurate maintaining of books of accounts inside the firm. So in my next session, we shall discuss about audit of educational institution and audit of cooperative societies. So my dear students, hope you have understood the session. See you all in my next session with a new topic. Till then, take care. Thank you.